In this video, we're going to place holes in the top of our box and then add our cams to our cam rod to help start making our Automata box. So first, to create the holes in the top of our box, we're going to go up to 3D model and select hole. That's because we just want to put it on the top. We don't want it going in the top and the bottom. So I'm going to click somewhere on the top of my box. I've already got my diameter. I'm going to change my diameter to 0.26. That way I can fit a 0.25 inch rod through it and it's not clamping down or getting too snug of a fit. Then I want to reference from the sidewall and I want to change that distance, and then I want to reference from this front wall, and I'm going to have to change those. From the back wall it's going to be 2, and from the side I'm going to change that to 5 divided by 3. Since I'm going to put 2 holes on the top, I want to divide it into 3 segments. That's why I did 5 divided by 3, so everything's evenly spaced out. And then I'm going to select. Then I can apply that hole, and I can create a second hole doing the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to click. Again, it's 0.26 already since I already changed that. I'm going to select the sidewall, and I'm going to select the second sidewall and change both those values. So first 2. From that back one, and I hit enter, so I'm going to have to go back and edit that feature. So I'm going to right click and edit feature, and I can change that to value. So again, I'm going to do 5 divided by 3. And that puts the holes just in the top. Now I don't have holes in the bottom of my box, so it's not on that top bottom piece that I originally added to this box. Then I want to add some work planes to this, so I'm going to do this the same way we did in 4.5. Since we did learn how to do that in 4.5, we'll do that same process again. So I'm going to add an axis to the center of those holes by clicking on axis to the center of circular or elliptical edge, and I click the edge of both those. Now I want to add the points by clicking on point. Then I'm going to click on the top of the box and then on the line I just created. I do the same thing for this second one, so I gotta make sure I have my line still. And I'm going to do point, click on the top, click on the line. That gives me my point right at the intersection of the top of the box. Then I need a plane, parallel to a plane to a point. So I'm going to click on a vertical plane. I'm just going to click on the side of my box and then on the point I just created. And I'll do the same thing for the second spot as well. So parallel to plane to a point, click the plane, click on the point. Now I have my planes to help me set my cams in place. So now I need to place my cam, so I'm going to go to the Assemble tab and place. I'm going to do an eccentric cam for my first one, so I'm going to open. Again, just like in the previous video, I'm going to rotate Y 90 degrees just to get it oriented more closely to how I want it, and place it. Then I'm going to right click and hit OK. Now to place on the rod, I'm going to do some constraints just like we did on 4.5. So first I'm going to click on work plane 1 and the work plane with my hole. And that's going to put it in the right location, and I'll apply. Then I'm going to use that work axis I put through the center of my cam and place that with the work axis through the rod and apply that one. Now I need to go back and find my cam, and I won't need to use this center axis to go through the cam and mate it with this axis to the rod. I could also do an angle. We'll do an angle one on our next cam. So I'm going to apply that one. Now that places that in the right location and lets it rotate as my rod spins. I'm going to do a similar process with my snare cam. So I'll use a snare cam for my second one and place that one on. Again, I'm going to rotate Y 90 degrees and place it. Right click and hit OK. Similar constraints this time. Again, I'm going to start with my work plane and mate it to my plane with my hole. You can see it rotates my cam. If I want to keep it in the other orientation, I can keep it flush. So depending on your orientation you need or want, you can change between a mate and flush for things like a snare cam. I'm going to make it a flush to give the orientation of my physical box and hit apply. Then I want to do the same mates as last time. So I'm going to switch back to a mate, and I'm going to select that center line and the center line of my camera and hit apply. This time I'm going to do a an angle constraint. So I'm going to switch over to angle. Again, I'm going to select the same work plane. So I'm going to do the skinny plane on my cam. I'm going to do the plane through the rod. And then I need to select the center axis. I'm going to change this. So I'm going to look at it a little bit to see where I'm at. And I'm going to change this to a 30-degree angle. So I'm going to change my angle to 30 degrees. And you can see it rotates my cam, so it's not lined up exactly even with my eccentric cam. And then I'm going to apply. If I leave my constraints, you can see when we rotate the handle, the cams rotate together. They're not lined up with one. The work planes are not lined up. Hopefully this helps to get your cams onto your Automata box lined up with the holes. If we go to the top, we can see it's lined up with the holes. So you can look down and see it's lined up perfectly over those holes. Hopefully this helps. Next video we'll add the followers and make sure we can add that translational constraint to those. Good luck.